Hi, good afternoon. Give me a minute. We'll just set this up and we'll start. Give me just a minute. I'll set up the logistics in place. Okay, perfect. So I will just set up my screen for all of you and I'll put up the presentation. Okay, perfect. Good morning, class. Welcome to this webinar on financial modeling. Am I audible to all of you, loud and clear, right? If there are any concerns with the audio, please let me know. Yeah. So, good morning, and I welcome you to this webinar on financial modeling. Apologies for a couple of minutes delay on setting this up. I think all of you are here to understand what is the course offering, why this is necessary from your perspective if you're trying to enroll from on a financial modeling certification. How does that add value to your resumes and to your careers largely? So, let's put it this way: financial modeling today has become one of the most important skill sets that we are largely looking at, right? Any company that you join in core finance, right? When I'm talking about core finance, any profile on core finance, people would be interested in understanding, can you contribute day one, right, to the company? And one of the easiest way to contribute to the company on a day one basis is, let's say by assisting the seniors or assisting the team on at least models, right? Excel models, financial models. And a lot of us would like to therefore understand, what are these models, how to create these models, what are the concepts that we are going to capture on these models as such. So from our perspective, when we say financial modeling, this has now become more of a hygiene skill rather than anything else. For a long period of time, financial modeling was considered as an add-on. But now, when you look at a lot of resumes, you'll find this something which is generally available on the resume. This is pretty easy and pretty common across resumes nowadays. So if a lot of us don't possess this skill, that may typically go as a negative point from your resume perspective. So important skill in which you would obviously have to analyze multiple finance concepts from financial statements all the way, to business valuations, mergers and acquisitions and stuff, and which is what we try and typically cover under this particular course. Useful from multiple industry perspective, whether you want to look for investment banking, equity research, you want to go for portfolio management profiles or any of these profiles, which are mainline profiles, right? If you're specifically looking, let's say, for a banking profile, then I would stick my neck out and say, from a banking profile perspective, does that add value to your resume or not? I'm not too sure. Banking is something that would not require a lot of financial modeling skills from your end. Perhaps we would be looking at some other skills that you would like to add from that perspective. So not needed specifically if you're looking at a banking career, right? To begin with, you don't need maybe a financial modeling skill there. Now, from an eligibility perspective, if you plan to join this course, what do I look at in a candidate? If I'm teaching that candidate, some of the classes obviously I may end up taking for you. So, from a candidate perspective, what are the key skills that I think you should possess? Obviously, a bachelor's degree, good communication, writing skills. In finance, we focus a lot on Microsoft Excel, but end of the day, we forget that a lot of communication has to be done to the clients in oral or written formats, and which is where I think the financial or your good communication skills come into picture. So that's a prerequisite. We generally believe, even if you have a financial modeling skill, but if you lack on your skills on communication, there's a problem in terms of placing a candidate to a suitable company or a corporate, right? So that's something that we would like to put on table here. uh, Student should have hands-on experience on MS Excel and idea about the basic financial statements, right? P&L, balance sheet, cash flow. In any case, if you do not have experience on Microsoft Excel, the program starts with covering basic concepts on Microsoft Excel for you, right? So the first few sessions would be basic Microsoft Excel concept that would be covered, and you would be taught Microsoft Excel from that perspective. As I said, who should join this course? Anyone who's looking for a career into investment banking, project management, equity research type of profiles. I think it's a course that you should eventually look forward to, right? Because this course then adds value and makes you more employable, from an industry perspective. Uh, so core finance profiles, corporate finance profiles, if you're looking largely from a valuation perspective, investment banking perspective, equity research perspective, mergers and acquisition perspective, I think these are the type of profiles that you would like to look into and log in from the perspective of financial modeling. It adds value to you then as an individual. Otherwise, it may be difficult to look at that. What do we cover over the 14-day period that you will have under this course, spread across 5 hours every day? What is the course offering that comes your way? Day one, as I said, is introductory Excel. So a lot of financial modeling or Excel related concepts are covered. You are taught basic Excel, how to use Excel, how to use Excel shortcuts. So day one is about, warming up, getting used to Excel, because the entire course would be modeled on Excel. I think that's an important aspect, that the entire course would be modeled on Excel. You would be taught theory, and along with that theory, you will be asked to model the concepts on Microsoft Excel. Okay, so from that perspective, we are looking at a course that goes completely on Excel. Day 2, 3, and 4 will be dedicated to a valuation case study. Right, we would be focusing on doing company valuations, because if you're looking into equity research, if you're looking for investment banking profiles, the core of a lot of finance profiles is business valuations. You should know how to value business. You have to buy a stock, you need to value a business. You have to sell a company, you need to value a business. So day 2, 3, 4 will teach you the theory on business valuations, how to do a discounted cash flow method, how to do a relative valuation, what is a weighted average cost of capital, how do you model the discount rates, using all those inputs, revenue, PN, revenue statements, or revenue drivers, cost drivers. We create a valuation case study. So this would largely be a case study that would be based on an FMCG company, and you would be walked through the model. You will be creating that model live in the class, everything on Excel, obviously, to set up a valuation case study. So 2, 3, 4 day is dedicated to valuation, and which would be useful for profiles, as I've indicated, for profiles, if you're targeting some of these profiles from an equity research perspective. You also need to understand, if you're going through this course, what are the profiles that you can target. So equity research is one profile that you can target if you specifically look at day 2 and day 2, 3, 4. Day 5 and 6 give you a flavor of project finance. If some of you are looking at project finance, you possess core skills such as skills from a telecom sector perspective or a civil perspective, you can target project finance profiles. Companies such as SBI Capital Market offer some really good roles in project finance. So project finance modeling is something that is covered on day 5 and 6. Once again, a case study that would be used to model the project finance concepts. And when you model these case studies, obviously you are learning Excel in addition to what you have already learned on day 1, right? So Excel is a key part of it. Excel keeps moving throughout the course. So even if I tell you that Excel is done on day 1, you will still keep learning Excel over day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. Day 7 and 8 of the course is about mergers and acquisition. A lot of you may want to actually get into investment banking and mergers and acquisition related profiles. So day 2, 3, 4, or day 7 and 8 basically is about an M&A profile, right? Where you're looking at mergers and acquisition, you understand what the theory is, and then you model that theory on a case study. Could be an IT company case study. We have 3 or 4 case studies here, so I don't know which one comes to you in your class typically. But you could be doing an IT company case study. You could be doing a publicly listed company case study. So the case study may change, but again, concepts of mergers and acquisition model using a case study. Day 9 and 10 then take you again to valuation, right? Given valuation is such an important aspect from a finance perspective, you again touch upon valuation. Okay. When you do this case study, this would be a case study on a publicly listed company in US. Right. So the first company would give you a flavor of FMCG. This would give you a flavor of IT sector. You will be doing an IT sector valuation, and new methods such as dividend discount model or a DDM would be introduced here. So this would be an actual company. you would go through the process of reading the financial statements, reading the, the 10Ks. In US, there are Form 10Ks. So you will read their annual reports, you will see where to get the data. So this would then give you a practice. What you have done on day 2, 3, 4, you get to implement a very similar thing, but for a different sector. And now you're not working on a dummy data, right? Day 2, 3, 4 is a dummy case study. In this case, you are working more on a publicly listed company, a company which is which is there in existence for you, and one of the large global companies that we are talking about. So 9 and 10 is about valuations again. Day 11 is about macros. Some of you would have heard about that finance profiles need macros, right? So you should know how to write macros on Excel. This is visual basic programming. So companies in Mumbai, for example, Jones Lang LaSalle or JLT, if some of you have heard about JLT, do want you to be aware about macros. So if macros is part of your resume, it gives you an advantage while appearing for those interviews, right? So we would be then looking at macros from that perspective. You would be taught macros, how to use macros on Excel sheet, how to make your life comfortable with macros when you're working. So macros is what day 11 covers. Day 12 is implementation of a lot of these macros and advanced techniques such as Monte Carlo simulation, right? In India, with the adaptation of Ind AS, which is, let's say, very close to IFRS. A lot of us now need to learn complex valuations. And Monte Carlo simulation is a technique which will help you learn this complex valuation process. It's continuation to day 11. Macros will be used to design Monte Carlos and help you run those Monte Carlos and understand if there is a problem in your Monte Carlo, how to fix that problem. Day 13 is about charts, right? Graphical representation is always needed, whether you are creating PowerPoint presentations or you are creating your Microsoft Excels. And if you would like to present your information or data, charts is something covered on day 13. The last day of the module, day 14, is about advanced Excel. So you move to certain additional advanced Excel concepts. When we say advanced Excel, we are typically trying to increase your efficiency significantly. So if I tell you that I can do something in 6 hours, if you know the advanced Excel sections that are covered on day 14, you can do the same task in 10 minutes. If I take 12 hours to do that, you will still finish the task in 10 minutes because you have learned the advanced way of tackling that problem. So that is the amount of time savings or efficiencies that I'm talking about, that you are going to build in on your advanced Excel class, that you save considerable amount of time on Microsoft Excel or when you're working on advanced concepts. So this, therefore, is a 14-day timeline for your financial modeling course, and valuations, mergers and acquisition, project finance, macros, charts, and obviously Excel. The entire course is modeled on Excel. So we would be catering to Excel. We would be talking about Excel a lot from that perspective. Sample is all fine. As I said, why do you need this skill set and why I think you should definitely go for this after 10 years of my experience into finance? It's a prerequisite. It's become more of a skill that is necessary nowadays on your resumes. And if you have this, this is an added advantage from that perspective. It provides you techniques to value and analyze the firm. As I said, you have to value the firm. There's a lot of valuation that is involved, and we do cover that. While you do valuations, you will be taught the nuances to value startups versus mature stage companies, right? So because a lot of mature stage companies are valued differently, and startups are a completely different ball game. You've seen how Zomato is getting valued. So valuation of nascent stage companies is again covered as part of the discussions. Project opportunities, because project finance is covered. So how to evaluate projects, their viabilities. Modeling of NPV IRRs is something that we cover as part of project appraisals and project evaluation techniques. From a banking perspective, loans is something that we do teach under this course. But again, I don't know how many of you would like to get into retail banking as a career opportunity, right? So mergers and acquisition and project finance, a couple of sessions on each of them. In terms of the benefits, we've talked about the benefits largely, but in terms of what would be the certification structure here, right? Because a lot of you would be looking forward towards the certification also from the perspective of this course. The certification structure spans across two types of certification. There would be a participation certification that would come your way, and then there would be a certification that we would be looking from the perspective of uh, excellence, right? So that would be typically a certification which would involve if you clear the exam, right? If you clear the exam, then we are looking at excellence certification. Since the certification is in collaboration with BSc, the BSc excellence certification will only be conferred once you clear the examinations, when you go through that process and just get through the examination perfectly. Otherwise, all of you would be given a excellence certificate, sorry, a participation certificate from my point of view. So two certifications, certificate of participation and certificate of excellence is what we are talking about here. Uh, about EduPristine, what does EduPristine offer you in terms of the offerings, and what is the background that the company comes with? EduPristine is a member of a US listed company at Telem Global Education, $3 billion company having 9 institutions and spread across 145 locations. So it's a company which is owned by a US corporate. Uh, Majorly catering towards finance accounting courses along with a bit on analytics and marketing is what EduPristine has been focused since 2008. When you join EduPristine, the trainings along with whatever we have discussed on 14 days, you're also offered a soft skill training, because as we said, soft skills is a very important aspect if you wish to uh, be employable, right? If you want to go and appear for interviews, you should have soft skill training. So soft skill training is part of this bundle. Besides the 14 days, you will have a day or two on soft skill trainings, which has been offered as part of the course. Hmm. Uh, Faculties, let's talk about faculties who will teach you these trainings. So they are not academicians, they are largely industry faculty, industry oriented faculty. So everyone who's working in the industry on these profiles would be giving you these trainings, so you get hands-on experience, what the faculty is looking at and what problems do they face on a day-to-day basis, and you eventually then try and learn from them. So it's eventually all industry faculties which are catering or providing these trainings to you. Placement assistance, EduPristine does provide you 100% placement assistance along with resume building, interview preparations, and leads for these placements that are available. They've placed a lot of candidates in the past, so the assistance is definitely provided as part of the trainings that you will go through under the financial modeling program. These are the few companies or corporates for which we have delivered trainings in the past: KPMG, Ernst& Young, international entities such as HSBC, Credit Suisse, a lot of the companies where we have delivered corporate trainings or trainings from a financial modeling perspective. Tie-ups with National University of Singapore, IIM Calcutta for some of the programs that we do there, FMS Delhi. So we have a few tie-ups with these entities as well. What is the broad offering? 14 days, 70 hours of exclusive classroom training that would be offered to you. Everything modeled on Excel. So you would be given Excel workbooks to model this. All live sessions. So you don't get any recording sessions. But if you need to see your sessions again, the recordings are saved for you on your LMS. So you can always revisit the session at a later date. Comprehensive study notes, certification, as I've talked about. We use case studies for all the things. So nothing modeled without case studies, and support with respect to online access to materials and recording. So you will have something which is called as a learning management system, which you can access to, go through your past notes or classes that you have missed. Uh, where should you get started to enroll? Do we have from EduPristine anyone here who's attending the training with me? Let me just check. Is anyone from EduPristine part of the webinar? Okay, so I don't think there's anyone from EduPristine here. So I'm typically catering to from the knowledge point of view. In terms of registrations, you can obviously contact the number below, and they will help you with the registration process. So nothing which should be a problem, given a lot of us are now comfortable using several modes of payments as such. But I think that's in a nutshell what the program is all about. We'll open the forum for questions. So I would be happy to help you with some specific questions if you have around the training. Any questions that you may have, and I'll just give you those rights. Anything that you would like to ask? Questions? Nothing? Really perfect. No issues then. In case, yeah, what is the fees, Siddhi? What is the fees? So I'm not the right person to perhaps answer that. I think I'm more from the academic background, right? So I typically teach as a freelance faculty with them. I think EduPristine would be the right person to tell you, or the right entity to tell you what is the fees. I'm not too sure about it, honestly. Been taking these courses now for 10 odd years with EduPristine, but not too sure what the fees is. I can help you if you need help on the content, the importance of the content. What do you eventually get out of it? Questions on that aspect. All good? No questions? Surely, perfect. No questions. Then we'll close it here. Thank you for attending the webinar. In case you have questions, you can reach out to me. I'll drop in my number on the slide for you, so you can connect with me, and I would be happy to address any questions that you may have in future. Okay. Thank you, class. Thank you for being here. Take care. Stay safe.